Hey everyone, I'm back for Saturday scrapbooking, and I have this Simple Stories Simple Vintage Junk Drawer collection kit that I'm going to use, I believe, only one paper out of this kit. It's this really pretty light blue paper with some really faint floral images on it. And I have pre-cut this piece to 7 by 12 inches, and it's going to go on the right side there. And on the left, I've got a smaller piece cut to 3.5 inches by 7.5 inches. And then I have a darker blue piece of cardstock that's from my stash that I've cut down to 4.5 inches by 12 inches. And another piece cut to 5 by 7 inches. Now I'm not 100% sure that I'm happy with the size of that last paper. I'll decide later to make it a bit smaller. Now today's pictures were taken on a day trip to Robben Island, which was amazing. This is where Nelson Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years in prison. And from the island, you look back towards Cape Town and you can see Table Mountain in the background there. It's gorgeous. There's my husband and I getting a selfie with Table Mountain in the background. And these are just a few of the pictures that I took of the prison. There's the entrance. Both the prison guide and the tour guide's faces have post-it notes over top of them. And this here was actually Nelson Mandela's cell. It was pretty amazing to actually see that in person. I added some white matte layers behind the pictures on the right-hand side. And then I brought out some Night of Navy ink and a little ink dauber. And I'm just going to ink up the edges of that light blue cardstock. And as I'm inking this up and starting to adhere some of the things down into place, I will say that the idea for this layout I found on YouTube by watching a video by 123 Scrapbook with Noreen, and she shared a sketch for, I don't know, some January sketch pack. I really don't know much about scrapbook sketches. This is the first time I've ever done a layout based off of a sketch, but it was fun to do and I quite like the outcome. So thank you, Noreen. I'm sure I've mentioned this on a previous scrapbooking video, but I really need to invest in some supplies. I'm using this Forever in Time double-sided tape that I got at the dollar store, and I'm really not that happy with it. I don't find it sticks really great, and I don't like just the tape dispenser that it is on. So if you're watching this and you're a scrapbooker, please drop a comment below and let me know what are your favorite adhesives to use in scrapbooking, because I really need to invest in something else. If you're interested at all in the measurements of the pictures that I cut here, the ones that I have adhered down already, those are 3.5 by 5.5 inches. And then these square ones that I'm bringing out now, these are 3.5 by 3.5 inches. And on the sketch, there were 3 pictures there, but I decided to use the middle one for my journaling. And then the next 2 pictures that I'm bringing out here in a second are also 3.5 by 5.5 inches. And I used a circle die cut to cut out that little turtle. And then I'm using an old Creative Memories heart punch to punch out some hearts in that darker blue color. And here's where I took a closer look at this 4x6 picture here, and I really was not happy with the mat, the blue mat being so large, so I did cut it down so it was just a thin blue mat. And then I just inked up the edges of an ephemera banner there. And I've got this tag, and I have a turtle stamp that came in my sticky subscription that I'm inking up. We saw several turtles there, and when they would cross the road, the bus drivers would stop for them and let them pass. It was really cute. Off screen, I have used my Sizzix alphabet dies, and I have cut out the words Robben Island, which you'll see in a moment, and some more stickers from Sticky that I thought the colors matched well. And now I'm just lining up my little journaling bit there and adhering that down in between those 2 pictures. And then I'll take that tag that I stamped that turtle on, and I'm simply going to write the date. And then I'm going to build a tiny little cluster here with that tag and a sticker and that little turtle picture. Just kind of figure out where I want things to go and then adhere them down. And then once those are in place, I will adhere down those two larger pictures. That view was stunning. There were so many stunning views we saw in South Africa. It's a gorgeous country. And I'm using my Barely Art glue to glue those little hearts down. And then writing Nelson Mandela's prison cell on that little banner. And then it's time to adhere this picture in place. So I'm just getting each layer put down, lining things up so I've got them as straight as can be. And with this picture down, I believe this is the last picture that had to go down on this layout. I was about to figure out how I wanted this little banner to go and put a sticker there, and then I decided I wanted some blue splatters there. So I took that same blue ink and added a little bit of water, just covering up my pictures so I don't get anything on them. And I liked the look of that better, so laying down a sticker and then adhering down the banner. And now it is time to add my title on there. So I'm using my T-square ruler to try to get it as straight as I can. I found it a little bit easier to tilt the paper. I was trying to do it without getting my head in the way. And you will see the D is a little straight, so I peeled it off and stuck it on again, a little straighter. Now working on the top word. And I'm quite happy with how that's coming along. Then next I decided I wanted to ink up the edges of the white cardstock with that blue ink, just to give it a little bit of definition there. I will say I've been really quite pleased with how this page or this layout is turning out, until I make a mistake coming up here very quickly. And I did put it in slow motion, so you can see I was going to put my ink pad away, and I dropped it right on my page. Look at that. It fell face down right on a picture. Got a little bit of ink smudge on the blue, but that picture was toast. So off it goes. I paused the video, I printed a new one out, cut it down, and it's fixed. Thankfully, it only landed on one picture. It was an easy fix, but anyways. I still decided to bring the ink out again because I wanted some more ink splatters on some of those other white pieces that just looked a little too blank. But you better believe I was very careful with my ink pad this time, kept it off to the side, and put it away very carefully away from my layout so I did not have another accident. But anyway, here is the finished layout. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful, peaceful day.